I can see that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. This is your boy Big Zeke in the building. I'm here with my brother Dre.
What's good, everybody? Happy to be back with y'all on another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast.
And also here with my brother Dre. Kesey.
What's good, good people? It's good to be in the building today.
Yeah.
How's it going, fellas?
It's good, man. You know, it's cold outside, but it's good.
Man, it's chilling. It's not bad. It could be worse. This is Wisconsin.
It's June, though.
It could be worse. Every time I swear, I'm like, man, it's cold in June. Like, it could be worse. It could be snowing.
It could, but it also could be 75.
Yeah. I'm happy it's not 75 for other reasons we discussed off the mic. Don't need to get into it. But I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get started. Injury report. No injuries, no excuses.
That's my line, but okay.
I mean, you was taking your sweet time.
I wasn't sure.
It's in the thing. It's in the thing.
This is Isaiah Moore in the 94 Feet Podcast. David Ruffin.
Anybody come to see you, Otis? Hey, mama.
Everybody's coming to listen to me, Otis. No injuries, no excuses.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, this is not on the.
So close to me.
This is not on the docket, but it was in the news, NBA news.
Uh-oh.
We ain't TMZ, but we here for the NBA drama, off the court and on.
You couldn't wait to gossip.
And it's not gossip, okay? Now, was I a little like, okay, all right? I was like, okay.
Oh, boy.
Look, at this time of the season, whatever. We grasping at straws. At this time of the season, we are grasping at straws. So whatever we can get, we will take.
Okay.
Zion Williams announced his baby girl with his I guess girlfriend. I do not know her name. I'm not familiar with her. Apparently she is very popular amongst IG models. So and once he announced this arrival of his new baby, there was another woman that Zion was dealing with who was very upset about this. Now, she's a little bit more familiar with me and other millions of gentlemen, some women too. We don't discriminate here. She is a porn star named Mariah Mills.
I'm not familiar with that name, but hey.
Yeah, sure you're not. Anyways.
She used to be an Instagram model.
No.
Yes, she was.
His girl was an
No.
Instagram model.
Mariah Mills used to be a big time Instagram model.
Are you sure?
She used to be a big time Instagram model. She used to be, I saw her on one of those talk shows where they called her in the audience like a question and they asked her what she did. She said she's an Instagram model. So, but I did see that come across the feed that she went on a Twitter rant.
So she went on a Twitter rant talking about Zion, how he did her bogus, how he did her wrong. He didn't tell her about the baby on the way. She was the one hyping him up. She warned him about women like this, blah, 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 blah.
But how you warning him about something he already wanted, probably?
So I'm glad you brought that up. I think there's a hierarchy here that we don't pay attention to. Like, I'm gonna say women are women, but women are women, but there's a hierarchy here. And as gentlemen, like I said before, we talk about NBA stuff on and off the court. I'm just gonna bring this up real quick. IG model versus porn star. Real quick. Who has the hierarchy of the situation? Not the situation, just in general. Your perspective, really quickly. Dre, you knew her as an IG model once you started us off.
I think the awkward silent moment from both of us insinuated the fact that we're going to waste airtime talking about this.
Which is, I said real quick.
Neither of them have a hierarchy. They're both each other's side chicks. They should be happy that Zion's going to be paying them both.
First of all, he not paying nobody.
Oh, he's going to pay.
Well, he paying.
Oh, he going to pay.
He going to pay.
He's going to have that baby.
He going to pay. But what I'm saying is this.
No joke.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this. Hierarchy. I mean hierarchy, like who get a little bit more respect.
I mean, honestly, if you a side chick,
Not side chick. Don't keep saying side chick because neither one.
well, if
One
you
is the girlfriend.
if-
One is the girlfriend.
Time
One
out.
is the side chick.
If you Google Zion Williamson, the stories that pop up is Zion's side chick is upset. Zion's side
you
chick
what?
is upset.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
If you're a side chick, you knew you were a side chick.
She didn't know she was a side chick.
She knew she was.
She
a
didn't
side
know
chick.
she was a
Come
side
on, bro.
chick.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. We're talking about
Is
millionaires.
she talking about she tried to warn you? She knew something.
Yes.
She tried to warn you about
then-
girls like this.
and
She
then I
didn't
just
say. She just said you had a baby on me. She
Then I
said it had
just
a
looked
baby
on Twitter, and she posted a screenshot of Zion saying, "How much do I have to pay you to be here?"
Yeah,
She knew she was a side chick.
that's different.
No,
That's different.
no,
That's different.
no.
They
That's
know what that means.
They-
Everybody
she
know
know
what
what it is.
that.
Come on,
language
bro.
I mean, we see
Okay,
that
let
y'all
me just
y'all
end-
gonna make me go into this
Can
thing.
I just end my comment so we can pass it on and talk about basketball? This is another episode of an angry side chick that's mad because now she looked like the stupid one. Okay, you knew this man wasn't gonna leave you for his chick. You were his side chick. You're an adult film star
Mhm.
who, no judgment, he has a chick, and you're a porn star. Come on, he was likely fulfilling a fantasy.
So are you putting the IG model over the side over
I-
over the porn star?
It's whatever Zion wants to do. It's just gonna cost him money. It's gonna cost him his reputation. It's gonna cost him money. So whatever he wants, I don't even care.
Kesey, I'm gonna leave you alone. You married.
Thank you, Casey.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
Thank you,
married.
bro.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
You said it.
No, I'm gonna leave you alone. You
No,
married. No, I'm
let
gonna
him
leave you alone.
go.
You said
Don't
it's a
go.
hierarchy.
It's right.
No, I'm asking you. Are you putting the porn star over the IG model or the IG model over the porn star?
They both in the same recycle bag.
That's
Alright.
it. That's it.
They
Uh-huh.
both in the same recycle.
Do you know how
bag.
many women are probably gonna pop up now?
Because
that this has
because
been
most
exposed?
IG models got OnlyFans and most porn stars
That's
got
it.
OnlyFans.
That's
now.
it.
So I mean,
That's
they all
it.
in the same recycling bag.
That's it.
They just keep on getting passed around.
That's it. I mean, Kardashian, she's on like her 5th NBA player, right? Scottie Pippen's wife is dating her nephew. And you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Mm.
Come on. And let's be honest. Unfortunately, when situations happen like this, how many more women you think would pop up?
Actually, another one did pop up.
Yeah, another one did.
Another one
actually.
did pop up.
I forgot.
Zion flew
What?
me out. Zion flew her out.
And she,
Had her
and then
front
she
row.
posted a picture of him laying in her bed with,
Mhm.
while she took pictures of him.
I mean, Zion been slipping since Duke, but we
Well,
won't
is
get
it- is
we
it-
won't get into that.
He's single. Well, he was. Listen, man.
Zion is a young man with money, and he's doing everything else except for playing basketball.
That's it. He's
That's
living the
everything
dream.
else. Anyway,
He's
sorry, let's
living
move
the
on.
dream.
All right, let's move on. By the way, who's a nasty. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
He's living the dream.
Shout out to Zion. Anyways, let's
You
move on.
clap for him.
I said move on.
As long as he takes care of his kid, he good with me. Take
All
care of
right,
your
good.
kid, man.
In other NBA news, the Toronto Raptors have hired former Memphis Grizzlies assistant, was it Darko Ranskowski? He hired some white dude, and I felt bad for Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, for Toronto. Apparently, they think he can either help with a rebuild, depending if they want to keep their core, or he thinks that they can also help the core move to a different level. We kind of touched on this last week, but like the coaching carousel, number one, they lost. And number two, I understand people getting opportunities, but it's just like, gee, y'all was better off with Nick Nurse. Y'all was really better off with Nick Nurse. This is the best y'all can do. And that's the thing about the NBA. They give a lot of people opportunities and chances. And no more. I'm starting to see there's no more legendary coaches, but we're also running out of legendary players. And I think we're coming to a very, very dark ages in the NBA. Low key, we're coming to the dark ages of the NBA.
Why is it the dark ages?
Because after LeBron retires and Steph is pretty close, who is up?
KD.
Who?
KD.
KD is also in that realm of retiring in a couple years.
Giannis, Luka, Joker,
I mean, but that's
Luka doesn't
Jason Tatum.
that's cool. But these guys aren't delivering. So it's cool to have the name, but these guys aren't delivering. I could say Jason Tatum, and you see what happened with him.
We listen. We already talked about this 3 weeks ago. How There's only been 6 teams winning titles the last 20 years. Let's not act like this is different. But to get to your point, your question, when Toronto hired the coach, I had a Kesey moment. I said, who?
We all did.
I said, what?
We all paused and like,
Toronto hired him because Toronto is entering a rebuild. They need a fall guy. They'll give him 2 or 3 years, and he'll be out of there.
Mm.
Toronto let's not act like they got lucky with picking up Kawhi Leonard anyway.
They still have a nice core.
They're okay.
They have a nice core, and they have some young guys. So that's why I was kind of like puzzled a little bit, but it is what it is.
Keith, what you think about that pickup, bro?
I'm lost for a second. I was looking at something, reading something that's coming up next.
You was looking at the pictures from Robert. What? Yeah, it's your prerogative, man.
Oh, come on, man.
Let's look it up. Zion side chick.
Oh, okay. All right.
So a third one really came up?
Mm-hmm. Zion living his life.
Living his best
Okay,
life.
we're gonna.
All right.
I
don't even know.
Bad health and all.
He doing everything but playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I remember hearing his name, even when he was in Memphis.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Me either.
but
I mean, you passed like Bud still not coaching, D'Antoni's not coaching,
Mark Jackson not coaching.
Scott Skiles isn't coaching, Gundy's aren't coaching.
But it seemed like the new era is let's try something new and see what happens.
Steve Nash isn't coaching. JJ
I
Redick
don't-
isn't coaching.
And the thing about, like I was saying, Kesey, we're running out of legendary coaches.
Legendary-
diet.
But they've been gone. They've been leaving.
It's still some
No,
really good coaches
but
out
you know
here.
what it is?
Who?
Because we have a new.
The guy used to coach for Dallas. I forgot his name. No,
Rick Carlisle,
Rick Carlisle.
he still coaches. He coaches for the Pacers.
Is he a head coach?
Yes.
Well, look at where he at. Monty Williams got paid $78 million for a reason.
Monty Williams got paid because Detroit wasn't bringing nobody else to Detroit.
But my point is, we're running out of legendary coaches.
But do you know why that is?
You call Monty legendary?
I won't say
Keith.
legendary. It's a good coach. I'll say good coach.
Players now don't have the respect they used to for a coach.
That's true too.
That's the problem.
It is.
Everybody think it's the coach fault. Oh, it's the coach fault. It's the coach fault.
And then on top of that,
Everybody not taking accountability for their parts and why things don't go right and why they don't win their championships.
Mhm.
if I'm making $250 million, I don't have to listen to you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think all these assistant coaches getting hired represents the era of the rebuild, our Milwaukee Bucks included, because we can try
You
to
saying
act
everybody rebuilding?
if you're hiring assistant coaches as your head coaches, you don't have a lot of hope right now. You don't have a lot of hope right now.
That's not the case with us.
Well, keep watching.
I want to say rebuild
Keep
because that's an
watching.
ugly word. I just want to say we're looking for some new
watching.
blood. But moving on, rumors were Chris
Adrian
Paul.
Griffin, bro. Come on.
He's
But
gonna-
just look at it like this.
you
This
really
is what
just
they
don't talk
think.
while I'm talking. All right, that's good.
Man, you did it all, man. Kesey ain't had a word. Relax.
Look at it like
He's handling
this.
the same.
But
Relax.
look at it like this. Nick Nurse, his first year, what'd he do?
Won the title.
Won the title.
Steve Kerr, first year, what'd he do?
He ain't won the title.
He ain't won
Second
the-
year.
Second year, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
within a
I
year or
get it.
two.
I get it.
So I mean,
Steve Kerr wasn't an assistant coach though.
Steve,
Neither was Nick Nurse.
well, first of
Steve
all,
Kerr he was in San Antonio.
He was the GM. He was not.
Oh,
the
yeah, he
assistant
was a
coach. He
GM.
was a GM.
here's the thing about that though. Those two situations, when you're those two coaches, those two guys, especially Steve Kerr, you're walking into a winning situation.
Nick Nurse too.
That's what I said. I
Nick
said
Nurse
those
too.
two guys are
Mhm.
walking into a winning
so Eric
situation.
Spoelstra too.
Eric
No,
Spoelstra
Because
is
you know,
different.
you know what happened to him. He was in the video room and he ended up getting the job, and then he ended up getting LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh.
That had nothing to do with the coaching. That had to do with the players. And I can coach LeBron James in championships.
so you
Nah.
saying Miami run ain't because of Spectrum, it's because of the players.
Yes.
No, that's foul.
How's that foul?
The
No,
Miami
hold on
Heat-
a second, real quick. Are you sure you want to go here?
Yes.
Because they're down 3-1.
Well, they're in a championship that no one expected them to be in either.
All they did was outwork other guys. That's why they down 3-1.
Eric Spoelstra outcoached Bud.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Bud
Yeah, he
outcoached
did.
Bud outcoached himself. He coached himself out of that job.
He did.
No,
He coached himself out of that job.
Y'all
I don't
gotta
want to
give
sit here.
Spoelstra some credit.
I don't want to sit here and talk about how
Y'all gotta give Spoelstra some credit.
I'm not giving Spoelstra no credit because he ain't did nothing since
Yes, 4
LeBron
titles.
left.
He has 4 titles.
Since LeBron left
They've been to the finals 3 times.
in the bubble.
They've been to the finals 3 times.
And what happened in the bubble?
They lost to the Lakers.
This is my thing. You said he been to the final 3 times. What happened? Because we all talk about this. What happened when he got to the finals?
They lost.
Not did they lost. They lost badly. Not it's one thing if you lose. Hey, I lost in 7 games. Doc Rivers, I lost in 7 games. It is what it is. No, you're a loser.
So Greg Popovich is a loser.
Greg Popovich has had some championships. Not with LeBron James. I'm talking about with championships like a Stop what?
You make no sense.
How it make no sense?
Greg Popovich has won titles with Tim Duncan,
and David
arguably
Robinson.
the greatest power forward ever. David Robinson.
They groomed them though.
I'm not saying that that's not true.
They're just like that. No, because just like you said about the Warriors, they were drafted there.
LeBron
James and Chris Bosh decided to go there after they were who they were.
And they didn't go there because Eric Spoelstra is such a good coach. I said D Wade was like, "Y'all want to come, man? Come on, man. Let's win some championships." So don't sit there and act like that didn't happen.
You know, the fact that you are criticizing Spoelstra, Miami has had more good seasons than they have bad seasons.
They have horrible seasons.
They do not.
Trey, they barely be getting in the playoffs.
Not every year.
Almost every year.
Listen, man.
Like every time they make it to the finals, it's a miracle. We like, man.
And that's part of that is coaching. Game 2, Mike Malone was out coached by Eric Spoelstra.
And then what happened? Game 3.
Last. I mean, the champion it's over. Denver's gonna win it all tomorrow night, and we'll have our go home episode next season. Give Spo some credit, bro.
I told y'all what's gonna happen.
You just said
they won that game because of coaching. They won that game because they had a lot of energy that night.
And they still almost lost.
Who?
The Heat. It wasn't a blowout.
Exactly. But I knew they was gonna win one game. It's over with now, but I'm just saying, I knew that's how it was gonna come. One game.
I thought Jimmy's gonna give him at least one. Jimmy ain't been good since Boston. And I don't even know all those games he was that good.
So the Miami Heat,
here we go.
Last season were 53-29. The season before that, they were 40-32, 44-29. The Miami Heat, let's just do this for the sake of time. The last 10 years, they've only been under 500 twice.
What seed were they landing in those seasons that you're talking about? Because I don't care about you being over 500. Where did you land in the seeding?
So
in the East it's easier.
It is.
So they won the Eastern Conference Finals this season, lost Eastern Conference Finals last season, lost it in 21, first round, lost in the finals in 20, lost Eastern Conference Finals in 17-18, lost in 15-16.
Well,
so no. You're proving my point.
How am I proving your point?
Because the past 10 years, the Miami Heat has had mostly winning seasons,
and they have far runs. I want you to take away LeBron's season. Okay,
LeBron left in 14.
So he left in 14.
He left in 14.
So that was less than 10 years ago, right?
Okay, 9 years.
Okay.
And they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the 9 seasons, they were either in the conference semifinals or conference finals or finals. They only lost in the first round twice in the last 8 years.
Okay. So
come on, man. You got to get Spoelstra.
I'm not giving Spoelstra nothing. Okay. I don't because you know what's funny? It's always give Spoelstra something because he's doing what low-key what Bud has been doing. But
honestly, not to cut you off, an argument could be made that the Bucks firing Bud was very reactionary. Because the Bucks, although it's been a disappointing 2-year run in the finals, the Bucks have been winning the last 5 seasons.
Yes, they have.
True basketball heads would say, even though we couldn't stand Bud, it was a little reactionary for him to get fired. Let's just keep it a buck. Here's my thing. Like I said before, I said this last week. I'm gonna keep on saying. Was it not?
Huh?
Was it not reactionary for them to get rid of Bud?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm the
only person
keep
here.
It 100. Keep it a buck.
But answer this though. But when you the one who told me on our way out the door of the game that fans is going to be calling for Bud Head?
Of course, because it's easy to blame the coach.
So do you think the Bucks had an obligation to the fans to prove that
At the end of the day, this is about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And Giannis wasn't happy with Bud.
And Giannis wasn't happy with Bud. That's
And
the bottom
so
line.
here's the thing about that.
That's the bottom line.
Then everything else go out the window.
Because remember, Bron wanted Spoelstra gone. You remember that? He wanted Spoelstra gone. When they lost that first year in the finals, they were calling for Spoelstra's head, asking Pat Riley to come back down and coach.
And what Pat Riley say?
Eric Spoelstra is the coach of the Miami Heat.
Exactly. So what I was going to say was, when you talk about culture, and when you talk about it's up, give it the coaching, such and such, it's Pat Riley who's saying, "Nah, I'm gonna let him rock. I'm gonna let him rock. Nah, I'm gonna let him rock." But what about this?
Wasn't Spoelstra the one who got into it with Butler or something?
He got into
No, he got into it with what's the name, and then
he didn't get into it with Butler.
it was somebody, but Udonis
Butler got into it with somebody, and it might have been a coach.
Somebody got into it with the coach, and Haslam. It was Butler, and Haslam kind of bullied him, and then he were good.
He checked him. But it's just one of them things. It's one of them things where like I'm like,
did he check him?
Yes, he did.
Spoelstra is
In the
good.
game.
Spoelstra is good to a point.
Hey, what's wrong with Haslam's hair?
Well, I see we're going all over the place. I don't care about his Haslam hair. What? He's old. What do you mean what's happening with his hair?
Go ahead. Back to
now, I was just gonna say, I'm not. I'll give it to more to Pat Riley than I give it to Spoelstra. That's number one. Number two, the culture there is dictated by Pat Riley.
Of course,
LeBron left because it's not the LeBron show; it's the Pat Riley show, and Pat Riley let him know that. So it's one of them things where, like, I'm not gonna give it to Eric Spoelstra when he's been doing what a lot of these other coaches have been doing. They've been getting fired.
I hear you.
It's just not whatever. But moving on, the rumors were Chris Paul. Earlier this week, it was rumors Chris Paul was being waived by the Phoenix Suns. Since then, the rumors have been cleared up, and that is false. But the new CBA is coming up this year, and they're gonna have to do something with Chris Paul. So my question for you, gentlemen, that I'm bringing to the table is, what should Phoenix do with Chris Paul? Should they release him and re-sign him? Should they trade him?
I don't think the story was fake. I think
it was.
I just know it was by a verified reporter, and even the NBA shared it on NBA.com. Even they shared it. NBA, hold up. NBA doesn't share fake news.
It wasn't shared by Woj.
It was not.
It was not shared by Woj.
But the NBA shared it on their website.
They did.
That said Phoenix to part ways with Chris Paul. I think the story's true, but it came out too early, and Phoenix felt embarrassed because they hadn't talked to Chris Paul about it. At the end of the day, I think that Chris Paul will still get waived, if not cut. Okay? And they should do just that. Why are we milking? Chris Paul is owed some millions of dollars. Like
30. He's still owed maybe 30.
Millions of dollars.
He's still owed 30.
And if you are trying to build a roster around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker,
Chris Paul's the best person.
You got 2 years to do it.
Chris Paul is the best person.
I don't think so. Chris Paul is injury prone. He's never played a full season in the last, 8 or 9 seasons?
When they lost in the championship, he had a good season.
He did not play a full season. Go back and look at those years. No, we didn't.
First of all, nobody plays 82 games. As long as you get past 65.
Chris Paul, we lucky if we can get 60.
As long as you get 65, you're good.
Chris Paul's best days are behind him. If I'm Phoenix, I will part ways and I would try to engage in a trade.
Are you crazy?
I've heard they're engaging the Lakers. And when I came in,
that's ridiculous.
For a D'Angelo Russell, Chris Paul swap. Don't know if I'm KD if I want that because Booker and Russell play the same position. So don't know what you're going to do with that.
He a point guard.
Who?
Russell a point guard.
Who?
Russell is a point guard.
D'Angelo Russell is what?
He a point guard.
He's a point guard.
I didn't say he was a good one. I didn't say he was a good one.
He's a decent guard.
I didn't say he was a good one. I said he's a point guard.
He's a good point guard.
Could you imagine him putting
he's just a streaky shooter.
I would say, could you imagine him putting up all them bricks next to KD and Devin Booker?
But he wouldn't have to put up that many shots with them there.
But that's what he's known for. He likes to shoot.
So let me ask you this question then. What team best fits Chris Paul if he does decide? Because he said, I'm still playing. He said, I'm still good. Whether y'all waive me or not, I'm going to get my 15 mil and I'm going to get up out of here. But I'm still planning on playing a couple years. So where does Chris Paul go if that's the case?
If he can embrace coming off the bench, send him to the Clippers.
No.
You can send him to the Lakers to start, or you send him to the Golden State Warriors to come off the bench.
Number
Chris
one.
Paul wants to win the title now. He wants to win a title.
Not like that, though.
Who?
Chris Paul doesn't
Yeah,
win a title
okay,
like that.
you can say that. You think that if you want to.
Chris, I mean,
You don't want to be the only one from the Banana Boat Cruise, along with Melo, not with a title.
Carmelo Anthony didn't want to win one like that. Don't send me somewhere I'm be sitting on the bench looking stupid.
Carmelo went to the Lakers to try to win a title. He didn't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
He went to,
And then I hate see. Here's my thing. Chris Paul is still a capable guard. That's number one. Number two, he doesn't need a lot of shots. He rather pass the ball than shoot anyway.
Yeah.
That's why he fits with the Phoenix Suns. My thing is Boston, because they need some leadership. Clipper.
I don't think he wants to go to Boston. I saw a report that came out and said he would not play for the Boston Celtics.
I can see that too, but I think he should go to Boston.
Or maybe that was Dame Lillard. I'm so confused.
That was Dame Lillard.
So
I think he should go to Boston. I don't like the Lakers because that's you got an old guy with another old guy and a really injury prone guy, which is AD. I don't like him with Chris Paul has been on the West Coast his whole life. I think it's time to come to the East, where it's a little bit easier. But Boston, the Bucks. I'm trying to think who else. Brooklyn. Yeah, I think he would have to do too much in Brooklyn. Never mind. But Boston, the Bucks, or stay in Phoenix. I don't think you need to go to LA. I know you would like to go to LA because it's closer to home. But don't come.
What?
What do you mean come in Milwaukee for what?
We have Drew Holiday.
Okay. We also have a Middleton issue, and that would solve it.
I don't know about that. Middleton, man, that knee surgery has me worried, but we'll save that for the Bucks talk.
Chris Paul and
Chris Paul. And
what is your obsession with him?
Move. I don't have an obsession.
Obsession. Yeah, you do.
My thing is this: don't act like Chris Paul ain't top 5, top 10 point guard in the league right now.
I can name 6 point guards better than him.
Go ahead. And Steph Curry.
Okay, clearly he's number one.
All right, keep going. Even though he's not a point guard, but we'll have that. We've had that argument.
Drew Holiday.
Okay. Take your time.
I'm about to look some up now.
Go ahead, do that. In the meantime,
I can name at least
top
6
5,
point
top 10
better
point
than
guard
Chris.
right now. He said he can name 6.
At least 6.
I say he's top 5, top 10 right now.
Who?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
He's not top 10.
He's not.
Name 9.
Right now?
Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Drew Holiday,
Fred VanVleet.
over Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right now?
Fred VanVleet. That's
He's
6,
not.
right?
He's not. But
Halliburton. Better.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana. Better. Chris
Uh,
Paul ain't as good as y'all as he was. You thinking about the old Chris Paul?
Luka.
I'm thinking
Luka's
Ja
not better than
Morant.
Chris Paul.
Ja.
if he ain't
Jamal
shooting
Murray.
people, if he ain't shooting people,
Jamal Murray.
he just got there.
But
He's
he's still
been there.
there.
He was just injured for a year.
Okay.
Well, first of all, you
Shea.
time out.
Shea.
Time out.
SGA?
Time out.
Yes,
Number one, I think Shea is a shooting guard.
Shea
No,
is
he's
a
a point guard.
He holds the ball a lot, but he's a shooting
Dude,
guard.
you can't
My thing is
not
this.
take away their positions.
I'm
You
not
didn't
taking away
give
the
it to
position.
him.
I'm saying this is what I'm saying.
Trey.
Don't act like what?
Trey.
No, stop it.
Trey Young.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. Here's what I'm
De'Aaron
saying.
Fox.
No, this is what I'm saying. Are you done?
No, you tell me that player.
You named 6. You
I
got your
named
6
7
off.
or 8.
My thing is this. You talking about these guys who are younger, faster, can shoot the ball. Some of them can shoot the ball, some can't. My thing is this. Who can command and lead a team? That's why I look at Chris Paul as a top 5, top 10 point guard right now.
But at the same
Because
time,
you're talking about, hold on a second though, because you're talking about where the places I'm talking about sending him, they need leadership, veteran leadership.
The
Chris
Bucks
Paul
don't need leadership. They
Chris
have it.
Paul, do they?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
Because it was very lacking in the playoffs this year then.
Well,
Because here's the thing. Chris Paul is not going to be like, all right, I need to make him play. No, Giannis, I'm going to get you the ball in your spot. Just be there. All right, cool. Because we've been throwing away Chris Paul for like the last 3 or 4 years. Before he came to Phoenix, he was getting thrown away. Oh, Chris Paul's through. He's done. OKC to the playoffs. Houston, he's done. He's over with.
So
My thing is this.
where was Chris Paul when they lost in the finals?
He was. What you mean? Where was Chris Paul? Chris Paul is. Hold on. Chris Paul isn't
getting
there.
flagrant
Chris
fouls
Paul
on Giannis.
isn't there to get you to. He's there to get you to the playoffs. He's not there to finish the job off.
What?
Because you're talking about where.
But you said
Hold on,
he's a lead. He lead the team and lead the team. You gonna take them to where?
Is he the? I didn't say he's the best player on the team. I say he's the leader of the team.
But he clearly he won the leader.
Where was Devin Booker? Where was KD?
KD wasn't there that year.
We talking about last year? Talking about this year?
Last year.
Last year.
No,
Chris,
the Bucks year.
the Bucks year? Oh, Chris Paul did what he was supposed to do.
No, he
He
didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not.
No, he did not.
Are you kidding me?
And
He
neither
got
did.
owned.
Hold on. And neither did Devin Booker. Neither did Aiden.
Devin Booker balled out.
Devin Booker was the only one who got numbers.
Devin Booker got balled out.
Are you serious?
What? You better go back and check.
Go
them
back and
stats.
look at what? At how Holiday had him locked up?
No.
What? How
He
had him
averaged-
locked up? But
He averaged
Booker
34
still
points
balled?
a game in that series.
Yeah, what?
He averaged 34.
Look it up. My thing is this.
So get off the Chris Paul train.
I'm not on the Chris.
You are.
I'm on the Chris Paul
You're
train.
hold on.
What?
You're defending a 37-year-old point guard who has never won a title as if he has a championship, in your words, pedigree to lead a team past the finish
I
line.
never said he was a championship pedigree. I never said he was the best player on the team. I said he is a leader on the court.
So it doesn't
That's-
matter.
that-
It doesn't-
elite
It
flopper.
doesn't matter where Chris Paul goes. At the end of the day, like you said, he still has something left in the tank. That's what the bottom line boils down to. He's not a top 10 to me right now. But at the end of the day, Chris Paul is still a veteran point guard that can get the job done to a certain extent.
He might
And
be
if-
top 15.
Probably
Top 10.
top 15, not top 10.
Luka, Shade, Dame, Steph, Halliburton, Morant, Irvin, Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox, arguably Jalen Brunson, Drew Holiday, Jamal Murray. Some might even say Darius Garland.
Now you
Exactly.
just naming people.
No,
Continue.
no,
You
I'm
know
not.
who
Who did I just name that you wouldn't a team wouldn't pick over Chris Paul right now? Who?
You want to go down the list? Go down
So,
the list.
so
again.
Jalen Brunson. Is New York going to take Chris Paul or Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson,
Jalen Brunson.
De'Aaron
Memphis.
Fox,
De'Aaron Fox.
Oh,
Drew
so-
Holiday.
See, here's the thing.
Drew Holiday.
Hold up, no, you
Come on.
asked. Let me do it.
Okay, fine.
Trae Young,
Trae Young.
I'm taking Chris Paul.
Kyrie Irving,
Kyrie
I'm taking
Irving,
Chris Paul.
John Morant,
Ja.
I'm taking Chris Paul.
Tyrese Halliburton.
I'm
I'm
taking,
taking Chris
Tyrese.
Paul.
I'm not going to finish because of the top
Yeah,
four.
'cause clearly.
I ain't going to
No, because y'all talking about this is my thing. You talking about guys who ain't done nothing.
He ain't either.
Chris Paul hasn't either. That's what you're missing, Z. What has Chris Paul done? What has he done?
Chris
He's
Paul-
been to the finals once.
Chris,
And
okay.
he lost to the Bucks in a play where he shouldn't even played in game 6. He should have been suspended.
Y'all talking about somebody, all stars, all NBA. I don't know. I think he's top 5 in all time assists. You're talking about, and here's the thing. You're talking about guys who are unproven.
Z,
Who are unproven.
Chris Paul. Is,
Hollenberg just got an all-star game. He just got an all-star game. He ain't did nothing.
Chris Paul is
Chris, you talking about De'Aaron Fox? De'Aaron Fox is fast.
Aaron.
De'Aaron Fox just, first of all, you just got on the De'Aaron Fox train just 2 months ago? Not during the season, just 2 months ago. But all of a sudden, all of a sudden he's better than Chris Paul. You just
I didn't say better.
Now
I
you
said I'll
just
take
naming
him over
people.
Chris Paul.
Chris
I said I'll
Kyrie
take him over
Irving,
Chris Paul.
very skilled player. He's a nutcase though. I ain't got time for that.
With a title. With a title.
Because of LeBron. If you put Chris Paul on LeBron team, don't get me to this because he almost in the same boat. He almost in the same boat
It's so true.
as Green. He almost in the same boat as Green. Take away LeBron, take away Steph Curry. What have you done, sir?
So-
Nothing.
So you with a straight face
Yep.
would take a 38-year-old ailing body, Chris Paul,
Mm-hmm.
over the young core that we named in the NBA right now.
Yep.
Okay. Well, and your team will come up short every year.
They won't come up short.
Who do you think he should go to?
I just told you either Boston. I would like him to come to the Bucks.
Why Milwaukee?
I just told you
Why
why.
Boston though?
Both of those teams are in need of leadership. We have skilled players. Both of those teams have skilled players, but they're in need of leadership. Let's sit here and act like that's
So
not
you
the
saying
case.
Giannis is not a leader?
I'm not saying Giannis is a leader. Giannis is one of the best players in the NBA right now. Either number 1 or number 2, depends on who you're talking to. But don't sit here and act like another, because adding Chris Paul is just a coach on the floor. Drew sometimes tends to be a little timid. I think
Drew has got the job done for us, though, right?
he has got the job done for us in the past.
He got a championship, right?
He does have a
Did
championship.
Chris Paul got a championship?
Chris Paul doesn't have a
He
championship.
locked up Chris
then.
Paul, didn't he? Did he not lock up
Against
Chris
the
Paul?
player you defending is the player he put the pause on.
Multiple times.
Who?
Chris Paul.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. Number one, like I said before, I didn't never said, like you said, Chris Paul has something left in the tank. So I'm not going to sit here and let y'all just disrespect him because there's some younger players.
We're
out
not
there.
disrespecting him.
I'm saying because you acting like I don't know what I'm talking about when I say Chris Paul is like, I said top 5, top 10. You just naming off a bunch of younger players.
They are better.
They're not, though.
They are.
They're not.
Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie.
Obviously,
every player I named.
Hold on a second. You know what's funny? His stats have declined as he's aged, right?
As they should.
As they should, right?
So then why should he still be better than most of the young core of the NBA?
Wow. I just find it funny because the narrative
is LeBron better than most of the young core of the NBA?
LeBron said he's better than 95% of the guys.
That's what he believes, but is he?
It depends on who you're talking to.
At 38,
yes.
At 38 years old, with a straight face, are you drafting LeBron or Chris Paul first out of the sea of current NBA talent?
Probably.
Over Joker. Over Giannis.
They don't play the same position, so
it doesn't matter. Over KD. You're drafting LeBron at 38 and Chris Paul at 38 over those players that I just named.
Yep.
Okay.
What's in that cup?
It's some yak. That's not the point, though.
I mean, let me put some holy water in there, man, because you own one, bro.
I'm on one.
You own one. You own one today. You own one today.
You
really?
Own one today because I'll put you talking about LeBron James and Chris Paul over.
He really did smell it.
You talking about Chris Paul and LeBron James over Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
LeBron's the exception, but I'm not taking Chris Paul over Jaylen Brown nor Jason Tatum.
All right.
I don't care how bad they just played in the conference finals. I'm not taking Chris Paul over many players you just named. And not just because, okay, we're overlooking that Chris Paul has, in my opinion, somewhat ruined the culture of the NBA.
Here we go.
They're actually about to create a in-game flop rule thanks to Chris Paul and Marcus Smart. It has a lot to do with it. Chris Paul has created a league of crybabies. He's created a league of flopping. And more importantly, Chris Paul is still a good player. No one said that, nor Kesey or I said that.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're saying is Chris Paul may have to embrace a bench role or a six-man role because his starting days on a good team are likely over. Unless you do a full-out swap of point guards, Chris Paul might be coming off somebody's bench. Can we agree with that or no?
No.
So what I've been hearing is...
It depends on where he goes.
What I've been hearing is if he go to L.A., because I heard L.A. is in the process of coming up with a deal.
For Russell, right?
Yep, for Russell to get VanVleet.
Yeah.
VanVleet will be the starting point guard from what I'm told, and Paul will be coming off the bench to run the second unit.
Mm-hmm.
And what's wrong with that is all I'm saying.
I'm here like I said before. Chris Paul doesn't have to be the best player on your team.
He does not. He does
Chris Paul does not have to be the second best player. He can be the third best player.
Cash app you or something? Because you.
My thing is, you know what's funny?
Can you a piece of money?
I mean, Jesus, you
because y'all
you owe him like he be on LeBron.
No,
I'm holding Chris Paul nuts today.
I'm on Chris Paul. I'm not gonna just throw Chris Paul under the
Are they
bus.
honey roasted? Like, bro,
I'm just
up?
like because when you go for Steph, like when you going hard for Steph and the Golden State Warriors,
but
it's one of those things where
4
like
titles later though, Zeke.
4 titles. Fine, you know what? I'll let you go hard for Steph. When you go hard for people like Draymond Green,
4 titles.
When you go hard for people
2-time
like
defensive
Draymond
player
Green,
of the year. Keep going. I got answers for you. Go ahead.
When you go for hard for players like that, but then you throw Chris Paul underneath the bus, like he ain't did some things in this league.
Who threw him under the bus? How did we throw him under the bus?
Because I'm saying
that he might need to be a 6th man. That's all I said.
And what did I say? I said it depends on his situation. Coming to the Clippers, He should not come off the bus for Russell Westbrook.
No, he shouldn't.
So,
I agree with
so
you.
when you talk about his,
I don't think they can
so
both be
hold
on the
on.
same
And I
team
also
anyway.
said he shouldn't go to LA Lakers because you got another old man with another old man with an injury-prone player.
Well, I don't. Think,
I said those two things.
I don't think
I
he'll go to
said
the
he should come
Lakers.
to the Bucks because if we're gonna have veterans, at least have some valuable veterans, some guys who can bring something to the game. We have guys who can fill in, and we have veterans who can, all right, cool. You give me a good 5-10 minutes a game, maybe even 15 if you on hot streak. But other than that, all right, you can have a seat.
That was Bud. That was coaching.
So my thing is when you talk about you say he is coming off the bench in Boston. Boston, I'm kind of iffy about. I'm not the biggest Marcus Smart fan at point guard anyway. So I'm not saying I'm sitting here going
Smart's
hard.
a better defensive player.
He is. He's younger,
Not by much.
but but my thing is, it's more to a point guard position than youth and defensive presence. You have to command that offense. So when I look at Chris Paul, he is a leader on the court, an extension of the head coach. And that's what I'm looking at. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, the Bucks can use a guy like that. Everybody keep talking about we should go young. We should go young. Young for what? Tell me a young team who's won a championship.
Tell me an old team that's won a championship.
Every team that's won a championship has either had veterans on that team
Or been really good offensively.
or really good offensively. When the Golden State Warriors was winning championship, it wasn't because they was young, it's because they had a scheme and Steph Curry was pretty much in his prime shooting lights out.
And then they added KD.
And they added KD, another lights out shooter. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay. So at the end of the day, my respect for Chris Paul is there.
Is it?
It is absolutely there. I mean, he's a flopper. I mean, he's made the game terrible in that sense. I still think he has a good 2 to 3 years left, but it may not be as a starting point guard. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Damian Lillard said the Miami Heat would be the first choice in the hypothetical trade if that were to happen. His other choices are the Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, and the Brooklyn Nets. He didn't say it in that order. He really said he said Brooklyn Nets. He said Miami if they don't win a championship, Brooklyn, and then he said like the Knicks, and then he said Boston. He really didn't want to go to Boston, but he said, I think it speaks volumes to how Boston does things. But anyways, Miami, Brooklyn, New York. What do you guys think is the best fit for Damian Lillard?
While he's thinking, I'm going to go with a team he didn't say.
Here we go.
I'm going to go with Milwaukee.
Here we go.
I don't think he said Milwaukee because he don't want to get caught tampering.
I think he said Milwaukee because, well, first of all, we can't afford him.
If you get rid of Middleton and Holiday, you can absolutely afford
And
him.
we would be horrible.
No, we wouldn't.
Yes, we would.
How?
2 players, 2 of our best, our second and third best player for one guy,
We ain't had Chris Middleton in 2 seasons, really.
season and a half.
2.
Fine.
Because clearly he wasn't the man this playoffs either.
So my thing is this.
And he just had knee surgery.
Let's say we do trade them too. And then let's say we get Damian Lillard. Show me what just put out a starting lineup right now.
Dame. Well, you're not going to get both. You'll get one and some draft picks. Let's start there. You're not going to get both. You got Dame at the 1. I think you can move Holiday to the 2, or they're interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Drew and Dame are interchangeable. They can play either position. Although I rather have the Rock in Holiday's hand as a point guard. That's just me. Giannis can play the 3. Who you have at the 4? Crowder at the 4 if he comes back, and Brook at the 5 if he comes back.
Good. What do you have? I don't like Dame coming to Milwaukee. Continue.
I'd rather see Dame.
Honestly, I'd rather see him cook.
I'd rather see him in LA.
I'd rather see him.
Of course you would. At the day. You want everybody. You want everybody. So you want Chris Paul and Dame.
I don't want Chris Paul in LA.
First of all, Dame.
I never said that. You never even gave me a
You
chance
did.
to even talk about that.
Dame will never, and I say never,
Yeah.
come to LA. He did. I would. What you pointing at me for?
Give me a chance.
You didn't give me a chance to even answer the questions.
Answer what question?
About where
Chris?
he wants Chris Paul to go.
Well, you over there looking at Mariah Mills pictures. I ain't got time to be waiting for that.
Who is Mariah Mills?
Oh, you shut up.
You know Mariah Mills.
I really don't.
Okay, answer the question. Where do you want Dame to go? Milwaukee's not an option, but I would like to see him there. Go ahead.
The places that Dame probably is going to go, he ain't going to speak on.
I think
Exactly.
he can go to Miami.
He's going to speak on.
Exactly.
He's going to speak on places that probably he don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's going to say Miami. Miami be a good place to go
His house is up for sale.
if that's where you want to live and have a good lifestyle. You're probably sick of the cold, so you probably wouldn't want to come to Milwaukee off of that strength alone.
But Giannis is here. Him and Giannis are boys.
They're not.
Remember what he said. The one player he wants to play with is Giannis.
So many boys. It was an interview. I watched the interview. I know what he
the one
said.
player LeBron said he want to play. It was Steph. It ain't gonna happen.
It may. Never. LeBron can pull off things that people can't. It may.
Never. He'll
Not
never
this
go.
season. Not
No.
this season. Before it's all said and done, if LeBron wants to go out and win that 5th title, and if he has a chance to join Draymond and the boys in Golden State, don't think he won't.
Draymond won't be there.
No, he won't. He won't go there.
He would.
Yeah, he would. Wouldn't
He
he?
would.
He would.
They would have to come to him.
We know that ain't happening.
Exactly.
So, to your point, since we're gonna play along here, if I'm Dame, for all those teams, him going to Brooklyn doesn't put him in a winning situation.
It doesn't.
Him going to Boston is not likely because Boston can't afford him. They're talking about giving him both their top 2 guys the extensions of $500 million, so they can't afford it.
You trade Jaylen Brown.
You trade Jaylen Brown. I wouldn't mind him with Tatum. I think that's dope. But if I'm him, I think Miami sounds like the best fit. Him, Jimmy Buckets. But who did you give up for him? Tyler Hero, some draft picks.
You keep Tyler Hero. He's not making that much money.
Yeah, but
I think he's making like
Portland has
120.
to get something out the deal.
That's true. They pay it because the thing about Portland is, which everybody's thinking, because they got the number 3 or 4 pick. Either they in a rebuild, but they saying the same. They singing the same song. Hey, we're building around Dame. That's what we're doing. We're building around Dame.
So they got to
They trying to get rid of that pick.
So either they got to get rid of that pick, or they got to get rid of Dame this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Before
saying.
the
They have a
Before
choice.
the season, before it comes down to it, one of them got to go.
Yeah, and
They're
Dame
trying
said,
to move up, and they have the number 3 pick, right?
yeah, they're trying to get rid of that number 3 pick.
Yeah.
Dame said 2 things. Number 1, I'm not playing with no kids no more. I'm done doing that. That's number 1. Number 2, he also said he would go to Miami if they didn't win a championship. I think Dame wants to go somewhere where they don't have I want to say championship pedigree, but they're not always in the mix. Like the Bucks are always in the mix, but we're still a very small market team. Miami is never really like in the mix like that. Even if like next year bettings and stuff like that, they're not gonna be in the mix of championship teams. They're gonna be 5th, 6th after. They're gonna be after the Lakers. I do think Miami is probably the best place for Lillard. I don't think he's gonna win anything in Miami, but it'll be nice to see. I think if he really wants to win a championship, his best bet is to go to the Bucks or Boston Celtics. Now, how you get there and how you got to get there is a different thing. But I think it would be his best bet to win a championship. But I think Dame wants to leave on the terms of not, hey, I'm not chasing the ring. I just want to be in a continuing conversation.
And in all seriousness, him going to the Bucks or Boston doesn't necessarily put him in a championship situation.
I think it does.
It makes it better than Portland, but as we said before, the Milwaukee Bucks have to prove themselves that they're a championship.
I think if anything we learned this season, the East is wide open. Like anybody can win at any day. And so
yeah,
I think that when you come over, even Philadelphia needs a point guard. Him and Embiid and Maxey and Tyrese, Tobias Harris and those guys. I think they could use a point guard like Dame.
they don't have enough assets.
Well, there ain't nobody over there really making no max contract except for Embiid.
And Harden's going to leave unless they do
What
a
you
sign
mean?
trade.
And
What?
Harris is on one of them big
Yeah,
contracts.
he is.
Who?
Tobias
Harris.
Not no 250.
No.
Like a one something.
No, it's like 2.
Ain't no 2. Let me look that up. But I think that Philadelphia is even. Let's say they had to give up Tobias Harris, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Tobias is the highest paid player on the team this season.
Making what?
$38 million.
How many years?
He 5 year, 180 million.
5 year.
That's what I said. 180 million.
He'll
It ain't
make
no
40
2-something.
next year.
It's not a max.
And B to make 47 next year. Harden, if he picks up his option, he'll make 35.
But like those aren't max contracts.
Yeah, and they don't have a big.
They don't have no max contract.
I mean, they have a $160 million payroll next year. But James Harden, we know, is leaving likely. Philly has a lot of work to do too, man, because they don't have a whole lot of players on their roster.
That's true. I mean, speaking of Philadelphia, James Harden is currently, since they fired Doc Rivers, which he wanted, he's torn in between re-signing with Philadelphia 76ers or signing with the Houston Rockets. And low key, there's the dark horse is the Phoenix Suns. He could also go there.
They're talking about a sign and trade if that happens.
The sign and trade. So what should James Harden do? Or what should Philly do?
Philly. It's time to bust it up.
Bust it up. What you mean bust it up?
Start from scratch.
All right, he's already on crack. So what do you got?
I'm serious. Just think about it. You waited.
Bust it up.
Think of it like this.
Go ahead.
They waited all this time to get everybody healthy.
Mhm.
You got everybody healthy, and you still couldn't do it. So what is the excuse now? Now you put it on the coach. So what's going to be your next excuse? It's Embiid. It's time for somebody to go. It's time for some change. It got to be more than just a coach this year.
When you say
And
bust it up, though, are you talking about the whole roster, or are you just talking about James need to go?
They got to pick between James or Embiid. One of them got to go. And you got to get rid of Tobias because he ain't doing what he got to do. For 180,
For 180, I just want 26, 15 points a game.
you want what?
20, 15 points a game. That's it.
15 to 20 points a game?
That's it. 180, 15, 20 points a game.
5 year, 180. Do you know he's making $40 million a year?
What does that have to do anything? 20 to 15 a game. That's all I need. That's all I need.
You would never run my team.
Are you kidding me?
Hold on.
You telling me you getting a man $35 million?
Come
I'm gonna give you
Tell
the
him,
bare
Keith.
minimum. He's making $36 million,
Mhm.
Tell him, Keys.
and the only thing you expect out of him is 15 points a game.
15, 20 points a game.
No.
Your team will be bankrupt so fast.
He needs to be a double-double.
Look how much Drew Holiday is averaging.
Drew Holiday took us to a championship.
Look
too.
how much Drew Holiday is averaging.
How much is Drew Holiday deal?
It's a
high.
max.
It's high.
It's a
It's
max.
high. It's high. But Drew
Chris
helped us,
Middleton is at a max.
and they both helped us win the title. They both did they not? Did they not?
Look,
Did they not?
We're not talking
Do you know-
about
do you
that.
know what
We're
Drew
talking
Holiday-
about what these guys are averaging
Do you know-
compared to what they're
you
paid.
know what Drew Holiday's is?
What?
134 million. 4 years.
He got like 2 something.
No.
No.
4 year, 134 million.
Giannis is at 45. Chris Middleton's at 40. Holiday's at 36.
So what? Now
Well,
what?
how much he averaging? How much is
Does
averaging?
it matter what he averages?
It doesn't matter.
He does a lot of things that
Like I
don't-
said before, I
because
said
he does a
100.
lot of things that don't show up in the stat book that you can't put in a stat book.
My thing is this. When you talk about
Deflections, great help side defense.
you
And he's
have
an all around great teammate.
when you also have well, first of all, we're not in Philadelphia, so we watch Bucks in Philadelphia 76ers 2 different ways. That's first of all. Second of all, when you talk about the league and where we're at as far as how much money these guys are making, let's say Philadelphia is giving Tobias 180 million for what, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. The point I'm saying is this: when I say I want 15, 20 a game, that's all I expect from you. Because I expect if you're making like 200, then I'm expecting like 25. It's not that many people averaging 30. So
Are you kidding me?
it's not that many people averaging 30. How many people average 30 in the league? 2, maybe 3. Steph Curry didn't even average 30 this year. So when you talk about like the comparison to what these guys are making and to what they're averaging, 20 points in the average 20 points in the league right now is very hard. It's difficult. It's not easy.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's what I know.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man.
And then on talking, you just said Chris Middleton gave us what, a season and a half or 2 seasons? You said he ain't played.
So Embiid,
And how much he making?
Embiid averaged 33. Luka averaged 32.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis averaged 31.
Mm-hmm.
Dame Lillard averaged 32.
Mm-hmm.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander averaged 31.
It's
Jason
5.
Tatum averaged 30.
That's 6.
Kevin Durant averaged 29.
Okay, that's
Steph
it then.
Curry averaged 29.
So that's 6. So 6 guys averaging 30. It's not easy.
But it's a 30 is a 29 is a lot.
29 is a lot.
James averaged 29.
Oh God, here we go. That game is coming up.
Anthony Davis averaged 26.
And he shouldn't average that. I mean, no, I'm sorry.
He shouldn't average that.
He should average more than that.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You know, I'm gonna tell you like this, man.
Does that feel good?
I mean, it's true.
It's not, but go ahead.
It's the Chris Paul show, man. If I'm James Harden, you made a comment about going back to young players, right? Like Dame doesn't want to do that. All James Harden will do in Houston is get paid. That's it.
He's not a leader.
That's it. He'll probably get a 3-year, $145 million contract with a 4th-year player option. And that's it. They won't win anything, but coaching makes a difference, man. They're saying what is it, Casey? Emi Udoka?
Who? Oh, yeah.
They're saying that he is the coach, the kind of coach James Harden needs. So
that's not gonna pan out well. But
I don't know. But if I'm James Harden, I'm gonna give it another run with Philly. I don't think him and Phoenix is the answer. Him and KD and Booker, not enough ball. Not enough ball.
I say if Phoenix really wants to win a championship, you look into the Harden situation. I know KD ain't gonna do it. I know Booker ain't gonna do it. But that new owner, he need to find out with James Harden. What's on your mind? Hey, James, what's on your mind?
But how can you afford that? Also, another report came. I don't know if it's on your docket. They're looking to get rid of Bam too. So if
Miami?
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Ayton.
Oh, they looking to rid of him.
If you can get rid of Ayton and bring in James Harden, Booker, Durant doesn't have a bad ring to it.
It does not.
Doesn't have a bad ring to it at all.
If anything, it says championship. Now, here's the thing about James Harden. He's a quitter. He's a quitter. Like he not feeling it. He just stopped.
He stopped.
And we talk about like James Harden during the season is cool, but playoff James Harden sucks.
Big time.
And so you have to take that into account. I think James Harden should honestly look into the Phoenix situation, but if he can't get into the Phoenix situation, he need to go back to Philly and run it back.
I think KD is done with him, so he ain't going.
See, the thing about it, is every time KD's never the issue because he's a beta male, and so he ain't gonna speak up. He ain't gonna have no issues with you really. Only reason he not in Golden State right now is because Draymond Green got in his face.
Because he's
a bus rider.
I was gonna say something else, but
that's
another PG way. That's a PG way of saying it. What I was gonna say. I think Keith was going the same way, but I think that
almost said it
too. But my thing about KD, like he's never like the issue. Even when he was in Brooklyn, Kyrie was the issue. Now I will say this is now on the docket, but Kyrie chucked it up and was like, I'm gonna talk to LeBron about him joining the Mavs. Now we all knew that wasn't gonna happen. We all know it wasn't gonna happen, but he's gonna talk to him about it. I said, all right, cool.
I like it actually.
I hate it.
I
hate it.
I like
that
it.
would be the worst situation ever.
It would, but I like it.
That would be so toxic.
I like it because it's Kyrie admitting in his own way, I mucked up. I should have stayed with LeBron. my career was on the up and up when I was with LeBron.
Right now, he probably have at least two more championships.
At least 2 more. And the fact that you left
One.
LeBron hanging the way you did,
Yeah, one more.
2.
the way you left LeBron hanging, and now you see that you need him, it shows maturity. But we know it ain't gonna happen. But it would be dope to have Luka, Kyrie, and Bron.
That would be the worst lineup. I ain't gonna say worst lineup ever because you do have
But
you.
in Dallas, it wouldn't work.
It would. I don't know.
It
that
would have to be in LA.
Well, Luka ain't going. Well,
Luka ain't going to LA.
Luka ain't going to LA, but Luka might end up with Joker.
Luka might look better in the LA
Now he can't
for
hit.
marketing.
Luka can't handle that LeBron pressure because LeBron gonna make him play defense. He'll fit in with LeBron's crying, but LeBron ain't. You ain't gonna be able to just sit back.
The
and do
whole
nothing.
NBA cries. So don't just do that. Luka's crying on a different level.
Yeah,
Everybody.
he's a poster child. He's a poster child.
He cried like
Which one is it?
What?
LeBron be crying or not?
LeBron's not a crier because he gets hurt, fouled a lot. He's been fouled harder than more than anybody else in NBA history.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
That's
Y'all are y'all oblivious to what be going on?
Are we what?
what?
Oblivious to what be going on in the games when y'all be seeing
I'm
LeBron?
not.
Have you seen LeBron get fouled in the games?
What
they
does that have
don't
to do? He'll be a crybaby, bro.
He's not a crybaby. He's demanding
I
what
have a question.
he's earned.
Real question. This is a real question. Did he get fouled in that last play when they got swept?
Did he get fouled?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he
All right,
did
we can
not.
move on.
No,
Nope.
he did.
Nope. We're gonna move on. Because I just wanted to see if he was gonna fess something, be like, no, it's all ball. Nope. We're not gonna move on.
Foul.
We're gonna move on.
It was the body contact.
We're
It
gonna
wasn't
move.
the hands. It was the body contact.
What body contact? He got all ball.
Anybody else would get that call. Ja would have got that call.
John would have got a pistol.
Steph would have got that call.
I'll see you after the game.
Did you see his camp is trying to say it was a toy?
That's why. You see why it's not in the docket. You see why it's not in the
Look,
docket.
Adam Silver said, shout out to Silver though. Adam Silver said, toy or not, Ja Morant's not gonna be playing basketball for a while. So and he's being respectful to the finals before he makes the announcement. But the
That's
rumor
cool.
says he's gonna miss about 40 games.
I can see that.
He needs to.
Now this has obviously been brought up the last week or two about the Miami Heat run this year and also the Denver Nuggets run this year. I want you guys, I have 4 teams, 4 different years. I want you to rank the greatest playoff run.
Really?
Yes, the 2012 Miami Heat.
Let me get these rosters up.
Pull it up. I know, but it was a good run. Let me tell you about 2012 Miami Heat. That was the second.
That was the comeback year, right?
That was the
They
comeback
were
year,
down
what?
3-2.
That was the comeback year.
They're down 3-2 and 1. And
LeBron and them wasn't playing no games. They had laughed at Dirk and them, caught that L, and they wasn't playing no games that year.
that was the year Ray Allen hit the 3
I
when
think
all the
so.
fans left out the
But
building.
LeBron by himself was doing that was prime LeBron. That was prime LeBron. You know, that's when we all hated him, but he was still that guy.
We didn't hate him. We just didn't like what he did, how he did it.
I mean, he was
Just
still
didn't
that
like
guy.
the fact that he
He did
embraced
it because he did it how he wanted to do it, so that's why it was a problem.
He
for
did
everybody.
on national TV. He left his team hanging on national
No,
TV.
he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
You call it what you want.
He left them hanging on national
Call it what
TV.
you want.
When they make LeBron's what was the name of Jordan's the Bull? What's the name of the Bulls thing that they did on Netflix?
Last Dance?
Undisputed, The
Oh.
Last Dance.
Uh-huh.
When they makes LeBron's The Last Dance, that chapter is gonna be the worst told chapter because the way he did it.
The way he carried them bums for all those years, he could have did it how he wanted to do it.
Casey,
I'm not going there with you.
you don't leave your
No.
team hanging on national TV, bro.
He didn't leave him hanging.
Yeah, he did. He announced it on national TV that
So-
nobody knew what he was doing.
So what? That's his decision. He's a grown man. Look, you don't have to go tell nobody what you're gonna do next, do you?
listen, Keith,
Do you got
listen,
answer this question?
listen.
Answer the question.
What I'm saying
No,
is,
listen to what I'm asking you.
I hear you.
Answer this question.
Okay.
If you getting ready to make a decision on what you're gonna do next in your life, do you gotta let him know? Answer it.
I don't have to go on a Facebook Live and tell the world that I'm about to leave the 94 Feet podcast and y'all hearing about it for the first time.
I didn't say.
But that's what
We're not talking about the podcast. We're talking about your job.
Even worse, that's what he
We're
did.
talking about you're not
That's
answering the question.
That's different, Keith.
That's different.
No,
That's
not,
wrong.
that's his job.
But he did it on national TV.
Those are his teammates. Stop.
And he did on national TV.
Who was the teammates? Who was the teammates to that roster?
It don't matter.
Big Z.
He did on national TV.
Look at the roster.
It,
Look
Paul,
at the
What does
roster.
that have to do with? Here's the thing. Even LeBron was like, I shouldn't have did. I shouldn't have.
we're
did
not
that way.
saying that he could have left. It's how he left.
He said.
That's what
But,
painted him as the
First of all, we're
villain.
not even talking about that. We talking about championship run, 2012.
And everything that he did,
Okay, here we
he raised money for a good cause.
He raised
Off
money
of
for
it.
the Boys and Girls Clubs, but
Exactly.
but it's still the way he
Man,
did
whatever.
it.
You call it what you want to call it. I think it was fair.
So we're talking about championship runs here. 2012 Miami Heat.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into it, please don't leave your employer on a Facebook Live without telling.
Well, first of all,
Please put in the proper notice with management and not do a made-for-TV special. No one's gonna watch it.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Who's gonna do all that? All you do is you be like, "Hey, I ain't coming back."
You
Dang.
notice he didn't do. You notice when he left Miami, he didn't do it that time. He
Cause-
told them the right way.
Because he wasn't. Because he said, "Hey, I did this the wrong way. Let me do it the right way."
So to answer your question here, man,
Miami Heat. Hold on a second. Let me just go through the teams. The 2012 Miami Heat, 2010 Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe last championship. The 2021 Milwaukee Bucks, and the 2022 Golden State Warriors.
Well, the 22 Golden State Warriors only won one that year, so you can't say a run with that.
Which means I'm talking
no,
about
I think his question is. Let's rephrase the
the
question.
NBA Finals run.
Whose
like,
pathway to the finals was
they
the best?
pathway was the final was the best. That's my point.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks, and here's why. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna go with the Bucks, because we won it 50 years to the date. Literally,
That's what you going with them. for?
that's part of it. 50 years later. Also, nobody had the Bucks winning it that year. Nobody. And in my opinion, it was harder because that season was spread out because of COVID and all the different rules. We didn't win that title until July, right? That was almost 2 months later than the normal season
Mhm.
would end. So I think the Bucks pathway was harder. They had to beat tougher players. Back when Kobe and LeBron won, they were dominating the league. They were the favorites every year. The Bucks had never been the favorites until they won the title. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks for that win because we had to beat some monsters. We beat KD, we beat the Suns, we beat the Celtics, we swept the Heat, we beat the Hawks without Giannis. We beat the Hawks in the conference finals on the back of Chris Middleton. So the Bucks, and we were down 2-0. And we were down 2-0. We gentlemen swept the Phoenix Suns. All the rest of these were easy wins for these teams, except for the Miami Heat one. I'm going to give Ray Allen some credit. That Ray Allen 3 that brought them back into the game was honorable mention. But I'm about to go with my Milwaukee Bucks, man. Obviously, I'm a fan. But if you just look at how the drama surrounding that season, how we traded for PJ Tucker at the half season, and he started playing for us, I like the Bucks run.
I like 2010 Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, yeah? They beat
They beat
Kobe's last title. Didn't they beat or is it Orlando?
It wasn't. I think it wasn't Orlando.
Was it Orlando?
It was the Boston Celtics. I'm sorry. They beat the Boston Celtics in 7
Pearson
games.
Company. Yeah.
They beat the Big Three in 7 games. Kobe had to. They were down. They beat the Big Three, and this is before Shaq. This is after Shaq, actually. This is his 6th title, so he had one more than Shaq.
That's his 5th title. Kobe did not win 6 championships.
I'm sorry, this is 5th time. I'm sorry, but he won one more than Shaq, and he won with Paul Gasol, and he beat like I say, beat the Big Three, but he was I'm trying to think what was I saying. He was down 3-2. He was down 3-2 and won 2 games by himself. It was him and Paul Gasol, talking about a tragedy, but I think a tragedy, like a tragedy roster, a horrible roster.
Tragedy.
What did I say? Same thing. Now when you just said, what did you say?
Look at Casey eyes.
Really, Kesey? Really, Kesey?
I didn't say anything. You can let Andre gas you up.
Bro,
First of all, I seen your face.
your face said
It's the light right here that keep gleaming in my eye.
But the point is, this is Kobe's last great run. And I assume you talking about you want to vote for 2012 Miami with LeBron.
That was a great run, but the Bucks one was better to me. The
Now, are
Bucks-
you saying this as a fan? Or are you saying this as a basketball fan or as a Bucks fan?
I'm saying it because of the Bucks in 6,
Yep.
and it stuck around the whole playoffs.
Yeah, it did.
Not to mention what he said with the 50 years later
Mm-hmm.
to the date win.
Mm-hmm.
That just put a cap on it.
I will say,
And a sweep.
Giannis putting in
And
50.
a sweep.
What do you mean a sweep?
The Bucks won 4 straight. It was a
Oh,
sweep.
Well, not really, but okay.
It was a gentleman's
But
sweep.
at the
Yeah,
same
but
time,
4-1 is a gentleman's sweep.
that
No,
20,
if
that
you win 4
2012
straight,
that
it's a
2012
sweep.
Miami one was a good one though. It was a good ride.
It
You
was
can't
great.
lie, that ride was good. And
Well-
remember, that's the year they won like 20-some games, like 27 in a row, 28 in a row.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's when they
And
got it
to-
together.
And to beat Tim Duncan, that's
Yeah.
tough.
And you know what? For me, that
The-
was probably one of the better finals of the past 10 years.
Just
And-
think, you think he beat Tim Duncan in the finals? The Bucks beat who? Bucks
Chris
alone.
Paul and the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. So I mean, the Bucks did do so. So I'm on the border with that one, but that run by Miami and to come on and you beat Tim Duncan, that's tough. And they had a young Kawhi in too.
Who actually had LeBron kind of
Was
locked up.
locking them up.
Not locking them up. He was containing them. Locking up is a strong word.
It's
LeBron ain't seen defense like that
did
all
Allen
year.
Iverson cross Mike?
In the words of you Jordan fans, no.
Did Allen Iverson cross Mike?
Yeah.
So Kawhi locked up LeBron. It's
It's
okay.
not a lockup. It's not considered a lockup.
Fine, he locked him down.
It's not a lockdown.
So
He contained him. I would say I give you that.
fine.
That's the better word for it is contained. Lockup mean
Yeah,
He,
had-
he wasn't
I
getting
know,
enough.
I know, Keith. Relax. It's okay. I agree with you though. Ray Allen rescuing them from that game with that 3-pointer after all the fans left and tried to get back in this arena
Mhm.
just lives in my mind of fair weather fans, right? Even though we know the Bucks were losing, me and Kesey stayed the whole game. We stayed the whole
Y'all
game.
thought they were gonna come back?
Hmm?
Y'all thought they was gonna come back?
What, the Bucks?
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Butler shouldn't have made that basket at the end of the game. He
That's
pushed
true.
off, but yeah, we stayed. The Miami Heat fans, they hit it. They hit it, and they showed them running back to the building trying to get in
Oh, you talking about
Ray-
that? Yeah.
after Ray hit that 3.
Yeah.
So that was a great final series for me. But like I said, the most special to me, it got to be the Bucks. And then the Warriors last season.
But see, we can't go off of what's special to you. He said, "What is the greatest run?"
Well, that's in the eye of
It's
the person.
probably- Well, dude,
Right.
you said it was 2012 Miami,
I said the Bucks.
but
I said the Bucks. I said that Miami run was special. I did say that, and it was one of the best to watch. But I had to. If I'm picking the 4, I'm picking the Bucks. But they all
as a
were,
fan,
as a basketball enthusiast, all 4 were good though. The Warriors was the least memorable because it's the Warriors, right? People knew that they were going to win. Well, I knew they were going to win.
you didn't know.
And they got
nothing.
there because of a lot of injuries.
They really did.
They got there because a lot of people.
A lot
got
of
hurt.
injuries got. That's how they got there.
I want to see teams beat healthy teams, like LeBron them beat a healthy Tim Duncan in them that year.
Like the Bucks beat an unhealthy.
So Drake,
Brooklyn.
so Drake called me. It was like this finals is boring.
Am I wrong?
Is he wrong?
Casey?
I don't think so.
Casey, let me ask you this. Let me take over the show right now.
Let you what? Just say what you want to say. You don't need to say. You don't need to frame it like that. I need to take over the show right quick.
Well, I can though. Isaiah,
go ahead.
Zeke, seriously, y'all? How many of the games in the finals have you watched?
I watched all of them.
Casey, how many have you watched all the way through?
I watched
the
all of them.
finals?
The finals,
Yes.
all of them.
Now I fell asleep. I didn't watch. I got rid of cable. I literally watched
Well, that's
highlights.
because you-
Because we know who's the real fans,
It
real
it's
NBA fans, and who ain't.
Well, if me calling the finals boring doesn't make me a fan, well, so be it.
See, the thing
That's
about it
boring.
is, my thing is about
Don't
it.
back me up.
Why? Here's my thing. If you have
Don't let Steph
personal
Curry-
bias, I get that.
If Steph Curry ain't in the finals, oh, he ain't watching.
That's my
That's a
thing.
lie. That's a lie. I watched last year. I watched the year before that. In fact, I went. the
You're
year
proving
before
his
that.
point.
I'm not. I watched the year before that. Listen,
What's the difference between this year and last year?
boring. Boring.
Who won last year?
What?
Who
Boring.
won last year?
Boring. Doesn't matter. Listen, folks, tap into us, nation. How many of you agree with me that the finals have been boring this
Now,
year?
here's the
I
thing.
bet you when the ratings come
Hold on a
out,
second.
this is going to be the lowest rated finals in recent years.
No, my
Bet
thing is
money.
this. My
Bet
thing
money.
is this. Why would you now? You were talking about finals. I wasn't watching last year. I was not watching that. I wasn't watching it.
That's because you knew you didn't want to hear my mouth.
That's beside the point. Steph Curry and them in the NBA finals is boring. Now, the only reason I say is this.
That was actually
This-
exciting.
now,
finals.
here's the thing. I'm mad because Draymond Green has more time to talk about stuff. I don't want to hear Draymond Green talk about stuff.
Well, real quick, this is just this Clutch Sports most boring finals ever. The NBA finals have been dubbed the snooze fest. ESPN troll for most boring NBA finals. The
That's the
Denver
narrative
Nuggets
going
versus
around.
the Miami Heat, the most boring finals. The most casual NBA finals ever.
Would you be watching if it was Boston versus Lakers?
I'll be honest with you, man. I am a big fan of the sport. I watch
I
the
wouldn't be
games.
watching
Just
that.
listen, man. I watched the highlights, but I'm not gonna lie to you. When the Bucks got eliminated, it was hard to
So
watch.
you
the rest.
personal bias then?
I'm a little hurt.
Are you saying personal bias?
I'm a little hurt.
Are you saying because of personal bias?
I'm a little hurt.
Tone. Since Dre doesn't want to answer the
I
question,
just said I'm a little hurt.
are you not watching the NBA finals because personal bias?
I'm a little hurt.
A little bit A, a little bit B. I won't lie.
Dr. Bird
Thank you.
said somewhat boring, but I am enjoying watching Joker play. Agreed. He should have won MVP.
Thank you. That's my point is this. When somebody put up 30, 20, and 15, you got to see that.
I mean, we see it all year.
Who?
I mean, you said it.
When you watching the different Nuggets play? I ain't staying up that late.
Milwaukee.
I ain't staying up that
I'm gonna
late.
be honest with you. I like Joker the way he played, but
It's very Tim Duncan.
I don't think he's the reason they're winning right now.
What?
Jamal
Explain.
Murray, Brown.
Give me your cup.
Actually, the last game it was because of Brown, Bruce Brown. If you want to get technical, I watched the game. How you going to say that you didn't even watch the game?
I watched the highlights. Joker didn't even score in the first half of the game and came back and still had almost a triple double. What are you talking about?
That's what he do.
But I'm saying the players who make an impact to win the games. Different players make impacts to win games.
So
for teams.
here's my thing about it. I get what you're
Joker has
saying.
been doing what he does. He's a stat sheet stuffer. We know that. Y'all say the same thing about LeBron. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Well, that's different.
So Joker,
Luka, stat sheet stuffer.
Well, whoa.
crybaby.
Whoa. Stat sheet stuffer. Let's relax here. First of all, if anything, you're watching a master at conducting an offense.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. That's number one. Number two, Miami is still Jimmy
Bruce-
Butler and the
Bruce
guys
Brown.
fresh off the boat.
Bruce Brown in that last game put on the show.
He had 20. That's it.
That's the game winners right there. How much they win by?
I think like 15, like 10, 11.
So okay, without his 20, what they don't win.
They don't win. I get that. I mean, without Jamal Murray 20 something, they don't win.
That net the game in front
I
of
get what you're saying. Like different guys in Denver Nuggets have stepped up. I do agree with
different
that.
guys have stepped up
Yes.
to help them get over the hump.
I do agree with that.
Miami-
But
Miami-
it doesn't take away from what Joker is doing.
Yeah, don't. But I'm just saying that Joker's going to do what Joker do.
And my thing about this is, like I was saying before, I think one of the things about the thing about like the Nuggets is that, and my thing about Nuggets and Miami, how far they got. Miami was outplaying Boston, Milwaukee, New York. They were just outplaying them. Denver, like, y'all not gonna outplay us. We finna show y'all who y'all really are, and they are. Schroeder, whatever his name is, and what's his name? Vincent, and what's the other dude name? I don't know, whatever his name is. 3 dudes fresh off the boat. That's what they looking like too. 3 dudes fresh off the boat. And so when you talk about like the Denver Nuggets have an all-around better team with better, just better team chemistry. Jimmy and his team have been just making it off of we're gonna outwork you. And in the East, you can outwork teams and win games.
But let's not
The West that don't work.
Let's not
Yeah, don't worry.
downplay the Denver Nuggets, because I told Zeke the other day, I said they're having a very San Antonio Spurs-like season. They are fundamentally beating you with fundamentals. Joker, let's be honest, he's a great player, but there's nothing exciting about Joker. Nothing.
That's what I just said.
There's nothing exciting. So you're proving my point. That's why it's boring. Miami's only superstar is Coach Spo.
It's not CB.
Jimmy is a star surrounded by role players. Time players don't always show up. What makes it somewhat boring is exciting when those dudes step up. They're limited. That's from Dr. Bird, a longtime listener.
It's not CB.
But what I'm saying
It's not Coach.
what I'm saying, it is Coach.
It's not
Dr.
Coach,
Bird,
CB.
listen to this early podcast because he was dogging your boy Coach Spo. But anyway, Joker and the Denver Nuggets represent the new San Antonio Spurs. And here, hold
I
on, let
don't
me
like
finish.
that, but go ahead.
If the NBA's not careful, Denver might be around for years to come. Because you see what they did. They pulled off a trade in the finals to build more talent around Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a team trade in the finals. They traded players in the finals. More importantly,
They traded players in the final.
they traded draft picks so they can get higher picks to get better players to build around Joker and Jamal Murray.
How did they do that?
You
can do it
legally
anytime.
can.
You
You
can do it anytime
can.
you want
You
to.
can trade. You just
It
can't.
just doesn't get done.
It doesn't get done. It's
You're
not
focused on
approved.
other stuff.
Right. It's not approved until it's in principle.
Okay.
But the Denver Nuggets, as boring as they are, they might be the new San Antonio Spurs.
no.
Time will tell.
No.
You got
And
the
I-
big fundamental. Hold up. You got the big fundamental in Joker. You got a number 2 player in Jamal Murray, right? You got a number 3 player in Porter Jr.
But Porter Jr. going to want to get paid.
They could pay him.
They can't pay.
They
They can't
absolutely
pay all three of
can.
them.
Number one, Porter Jr. not worth whatever he talking about getting paid. Let's stop there. That's number one. Number two, you're talking about San Antonio Spurs, and I don't like the narrative that you're talking about boring basketball.
Okay, fine.
Hold on a second.
Fundamental basketball.
Hold on. Boring
Fine.
basketball to me, for you and CB, is watching the 2000 and I think it's 2000. I
The
forgot.
Lakers and the Pistons.
No, is watching Golden State go ham across the country.
That's not boring. It's
boring. Hold on a second.
it's not
It's
fair.
boring. It's boring because I know off top y'all finna win by 20, but y'all happen to win by 30. That's not fun basketball to me.
It
When
made the
you talk
NBA
about-
lopsided. I said that.
So when you talk about boring basketball,
Now, you
that's
always-
boring
You
basketball.
always clowning me about Steph Curry, but who hated Golden State the most when KD was on them?
Oh, that's because that's
Who hated him the most?
That's you.
Me, because it made the game what? Boring.
So when you talk about a competitive team, now I will say this: the juice has ran out. The streak is done.
Yeah.
You Miami has come across a real team,
A real
and
good
they like,
team.
you know what? We're not going to play with y'all. Everybody else was playing with them. Boston, more talented, but y'all was playing with them. So they did what they were supposed to do, beat y'all. Even the Bucks playing with them. They're like, all right, we finna beat y'all. And Miami had a chip on their shoulder when they played the Bucks. They might want to talk about that, but they had a chip on their shoulder,
Oh,
real bad.
Yeah.
So my thing
People
about when
saying
you
it was
talk
gonna
about
be
boring
sweat.
basketball, you talk about guys not playing good basketball. I think that even though the Nuggets and the games are close, they're close enough to like, okay, you don't know who's gonna win this game. Now it does look like the Denver Nuggets have better players. Their guys off the bench is stepping up, and that's what they're supposed to do when the time comes. So it's just one of them things where like, and the fact that we're talking about Coach Spoelstra is one of the key players is the essence of how bad your team is. Is the essence of how bad your team is. We talking about the coaches. He's the one. Him and Jimmy. What? Stop it. Jimmy should be averaging 30 if he was that guy. He should be averaging 30, but he's not. Joker is. Now, I'm going to wrap this up.
That wasn't a hot take, but if it makes you feel better, fine.
I swear.
If it makes you
And then
feel
on top of that, the
I
fact that you talking about the 2022 Golden State Warriors.
How's Richard Jefferson still on their books?
On who books?
buyouts,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
buyouts,
On who books?
Denver.
You on their books? He gonna get a ring? No, he ain't
he
get a ring.
might.
No, he
I don't
No,
know.
he didn't get no ring.
ain't get no
but-
ring.
But they
He's
owe him $2 million though this
He's
year.
getting paid.
I
He's
can see
doing
that.
his like the baseball player dude that's been paid for the last.
But you got to
25
remember,
years.
look at with the new agreement. Can they still hold on to these top 4 players?
They'll
Yes.
play some serious luxury taxes. Here's the thing.
'Cause look,
Ain't no luxury
look at
tax.
all-
Hold up before you go. Denver doesn't know what it's like to win a title. They will tomorrow night. You think they're not going to be like Milwaukee and invest in a winning culture? Because once you win, you can't go back. Because one thing about the Bucks, we wanted them titles, but we ain't had a losing season in like 6 or 7 years. Now,
my only thing is you talking about 46 million to Joker,
yep,
33 to Murray,
yep,
33 to Porter,
yep,
22 to Gordon,
yep. Too much.
and another 15 to Caldwell Pope.
Yep.
Can they keep all of them?
If they're under
That's who's winning
contract,
the games for them.
if
The
they're
only
under,
person who don't make a lot of money that's been helping them out a lot is Bruce Brown. He only makes $6 million.
Yep.
so my thing about that is they can though. That's the whole point of them making those trades. They can.
But I
they
thought with
have
the new,
a
but I thought
opportunity.
with that new collective bargaining or whatever it is,
They'll have to
the
make
cap
some.
hits.
they'll
They
have to
can't
make
hold
some-
on to all of those.
They
players.
can hold on, but they're basically the new salary cap is not giving you room to be flexible. Meaning, if you're going to have these kind of players, you're going to pay stiff penalties. That's all that means. But
No. That's the whole point of it. Because that's what Golden State was doing. Oh, we'll just take the penalty. That's
Yeah.
what the Bucks is doing. We'll just take the penalty.
That's
Everybody
what
was doing.
That's what I thought.
They
it was.
stopped. They stopping that.
are you sure?
Yes, that was why the GM from Golden State was like, peace, because he had to make a decision between Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. He had to make a decision, and he didn't want to make that decision.
Okay, so the new salary cap
But
agreement.
We,
This is
we got to wrap up here, fellas.
we good. Don't.
We-
So the cap and the luxury tax. Here's the good news. The basic structure of the salary cap is not changing. Players and owners will still split the league's basketball income 50-50. Yada, yada, yada. This season, the NBA uses a soft cap as opposed to the NFL's hard cap, meaning teams are allowed to exceed the cap under a variety of circumstances. This year's cap is $122 million, and some teams are spending as much as $191. The salary tax line is a higher figure, yada, 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 yada. And the new CBA.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap.
No,
up
no,
here.
no. Stop it. Stop it.
Right,
Stop
right,
it.
right.
No, no,
We
no.
already- first of all, you already talked about this in
No, no,
a
no.
couple episodes ago.
That's
not
okay,
long.
but I'm not done.
Number two.
So,
just because you weren't paying attention,
nevertheless,
the rest of us wasn't.
nevertheless, Dad.
I'm just letting you know.
Nevertheless, David Ruffin.
Well, anybody come to see you, Otis?
You want to put that to the test?
So, anyway,
You want to put that to the test?
anytime.
Listen, man, there is no podcast.
You know what? I'm not gonna.
So,
do this.
nevertheless, whatever happens to the Denver Nuggets, they are going to be used to winning, and they're going to invest whatever they can to keep their core together.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, congratulations to the Denver Nuggets on tomorrow
We'll see what
night
happens.
on winning the NBA championship.
We'll
They
see what
win,
happens.
and they next year they looking at $172 million in.
And he just said 191.
191 million is what most teams are spending.
Yes. But anyways,
That's crazy.
this has been another.
Bucks
This
is
has been a.
160.
This has been another episode of 94 Feet Podcast.
So
I'd like to thank my brother Dre.
you're welcome.
Thanks. I also like to thank my brother Kesey.
Been a pleasure.
Hater.
You can catch us on
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You can catch us on social media
Yeah,
platforms. You can
You
also.
know, the-
You're gonna be an adult about this, or
oh, now I can't be an adult because you are. Okay, fine.
catch us on all streaming platforms.
Yes.
Agree with us.
Probably not.
This is 94 Feet Podcast.
94
Peace.
Feet Nation, baby.
Peace, good people.